Prince Harry has recorded a TV interview the place he has mentioned his father, the King's health. The Duke of Sussex has been interviewed for the first time, in view that King Charles postponed all public-facing responsibilities due to the fact of his most cancer's diagnosis. He's additionally speaking about his existence with Meghan Mel in the Invictus Games. During the broadcast to be aired on Good Morning America on Friday, clips of the sit-down chat have already been launched and exhibit how he declared that he loves his household and believes the King's fitness scare can also have a unifying effect. Royal courtiers stated today, Buckingham Palace is not over the moon at Prince Harry's contemporary interview, after he recommended his father's sickness ought to lead to a reconciliation, and will be hoping that he would not say any more. Grant Harold, who laboured as a butler for Charles for 7 years when he was once the Prince of Wales, stated there may want to be difficulty inside Buckingham Palace about the interview. He instructed the New York Post, if Harry's going into awesome discussions about anything, it is viable that the royals might not be over the moon. Mr. Harold added, taking part in Devil's Advocate, Harry may want to have requested his household if they had been glad for him to talk about it publicly. However, I do not see, and from my personal experiences with the household, I do not see that having happened. I do not suppose William and the King will be extremely joyful about Harry's interview, even though the King has already shared some facts on his diagnosis. He is very private. Phil Dampier stated the King and Buckingham Palace had averted responding to Harry's feedback in the previous few years, which used to be a deliberate coverage, by using the King to no longer make matters worse and go away the door open. Palace courtiers are probably reeling from the information as they tried to cautiously manage the narrative surrounding the King's illness. Now Harry's come alongside and determined to communicate publicly about his father's sickness, in what many will see as but any other example of why he cannot be trusted. If solely he caught to talking about his Arda project, the Invictus Games, and his new existence in California, as this interview will solely irritate members of the family with the firm. It begs the query as to why his group of advisors are not telling him every other tell-all interview is a horrible idea. The rumor on Tumblr is that Buckingham Palace is thinking about criminal motion to stop Harry from going any further. Commentators warn these days that the royal household will concern that at a later point, he may want to begin to go into important points about the analysis or the remedy in the upcoming interviews in the future. What Harry's performed is despicable. He proved what we all knew. Harry can't be trusted. The use of his father's most cancers for economic attain and sympathy. How an awful lot decrease can this man or woman go? And Americans purchase the whole lot, he says. It's inappropriate to discuss about a person's sickness if they have not okayed sharing the personal business, let alone a public parent like the King, who values his privateness and shares solely what he desires to with the public. Prince Harry ought to have gotten permission first about his father earlier than the interview took place. Now it looks, and you will see, is cash symptoms